reincarnation. Amazing it is. Right? One or two you doubt, but 2000, how can you doubt? Right? So many books written on reincarnation. See, 30 most convincing cases of reincarnation. Past life, an investigation into reincarnation memories. Right? Zola's book of reincarnation, Return to Life, Born Again. And these are not just Indian books, they are books written by the Western authors also. It means even in the Western world, people believe in reincarnation. We cannot deny this fact. Even in Bible and even in Quran, there are references to reincarnation. Although Christians say they don't believe in reincarnation, but there are references to reincarnation. Okay. Right. Phobias. Some people have fear. Phobia means fear. Fear from birth itself, they have fear of something like water. Right? See here using. For example, if in previous life somebody ended in drowning, there would be a phobia of water. So by birth, the person will be fearful of water. He will not enter into water. I've seen some people who are fearful. They don't touch water, means a river water. They're so fearful. So twins. Difference in temperament of twins proves the soul. See here, these two boys, they look same. So who are the twins? So when the sperm fertilizes the egg, then it forms a zygote, and the zygote splits into two. It forms two eggs. And each one grows into a different body, different child. Both are genetically same. They look identical. But if you see, their temperaments are different. Somebody may like sweets, and they may not like sweets. Somebody is very jolly, another person may be silent or introvert. So the differences in the temperaments are there. Why? Because although they are genetically same, but the soul is different. The nature of the soul and their subtle body is different. They both are genetically same, but psychologically different, spiritually different beings. Because both the souls have come from different backgrounds, different births in the past. So that's why the temperament is different. This is another proof of reincarnation. So here is a story of a fighter pilot whose name was James, and his father's name was Bruce and Andrea Leininger. Okay. So this boy James used to remember his past life, and he was telling that I was killed in the battlefield in the World War II when I was fighting against the Japanese. Actually, he was an American fighter pilot, and he was fighting with the Japanese, and Japanese hit this flight, his aeroplane, and then blasted, and he died. And when he was born again, at that time he started having nightmares, bad dreams, scary nights. Then he said, "My flight is on fire, help me, save me." Like that, he used to cry. And mother and father got scared. What is this? They did some research and they found out that actually it is past memories coming now. Okay. And his name, the child's name was James. And in the past life, coincidentally, his name was James 3. So James 1, James 2, James 3. His specific name was James 3. And they went and did research and they found out such a person actually existed. So let's see this video. Okay. So it's a very interesting video. I'll show you a part of it.
They have the same name and boyish good looks.
James M. Houston, raised in the Midwest. They have the same name and boyish good looks. James M. Houston, raised in the Midwest. James M. Leininger, a young boy from the Bayou.
Whoa! There's something in the eyes. It's undeniable.
That's not all they share.
Somehow James Houston's spirit has affected my son, either through reincarnation. I don't know how it happened.
I can beat the Japanese easy as pie.
Initially, what caught my attention was James's extreme fascination with airplanes.
And every night he slept with his G.I. Joe action figures, which he named.
I took him to the Kavanaugh Flight Museum.
Here's home video. While the other kids casually look at the plane, 2-year-old James seems to inspect it. Watch as he checks the underbelly, then climbs inside, donning the headset.
The pilot put him on?
I said, oh, look, there's a bomb on the bottom. He said, that's not a bomb, that's a drop tank.
Bouncing about in the cockpit, James was flying high. That night, their world would change forever.
He started having the nightmares, and that was my first indication that there was something wrong. It was a panic-stricken, terrorized screaming.
Over and over again, James had the same terrible nightmare, 4 to 5 times a week. He was too young to explain the dream, but he could draw.
Bombing ships, you see men parachuting. Here's another one where planes are dropping bombs.
Help me.
He would just be crying. He'd say, airplane crash on fire, little man can't get out. He laid on his back and kicked up at the ceiling, and he goes, Mama, the little man's going like this. And he laid on his back and kicked his feet up. The little man's going, ooh, 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 can't get out. And I said, well, who's the little man, baby? And he goes, me. I thought Bruce and I were just going to faint.
They questioned, what kind of plane?
Corsair.
Why did your airplane crash?
My plane was shot down.
Who shot your plane?
He looked at me like I was a village idiot. He said,
The Japanese. I kept thinking, where is he getting this? I was a stay-at-home mom, so I know that there wasn't anything that he was being exposed to.
Not exposed to in this life, but perhaps, just maybe, somebody else was. Decades earlier, James Houston grew up with the same insatiable fascination with airplanes. He became a naval fighter pilot and fought in World War II. March 3rd, 1945, during a mission near Iwo Jima, he took a direct hit. At age 21, was declared missing and presumed dead.
where did he take off from a boat?
Do you remember the name of your boat? He said Natoma.
Found several thousand hits on the word Natoma.
The USS Natoma Bay launched into battle, headed for Iwo Jima in the fight for Lady Gulf.
It's the biggest naval battle in the history of the world.
Leo Pyatt served on the ship. From his home in Ohio, he organizes the Natoma Bay reunions. That's how Bruce found him.
I wanted to disprove it.
He asked a few questions about, did I know some of the people? Oh, yeah, I remember those people. And so he got very quiet.
It was all real. The people and places James described actually existed. And remember those G.I. Joe dolls that James named? Turns out 3 men with the same names, first and last, served on the Natoma and were killed in action. James said they greeted him in heaven after his crash.
I'd always asked him, do you remember what your name was? And he always said James. But his name is James.
Yes, there was a Jim Houston, a rather large shell, just hit him in the engine, and it burst into flames and went down.
They showed Leo the drawings.
He was right on the nose. I'm sure
3
This is a very interesting photograph. This old man and this boy, they were both colleagues in the World War II. This boy is reincarnated, and this old man is still living, and this boy recognized him as his colleague. So he attended the reunion. See this background, you'll see reunion of the Natoma Bay crew. So it's very interesting. So this boy recognized them.
The reunion. James recognized several pilots, even called them by name.
You're Bob Greenwald. I'm serious.
He'd never met Bob Green.
No, he'd never met him before.
And someone else was invited. James Houston's sister, Anne.
And he goes, it's not Anne, it's Annie. She wasn't my oldest sister. I had an older sister than that. And I said, you did? Who was that? And he goes, Ruth. I mean Ruth.
Annie is what they called me when I was little, knowing my name and my sister's name, things that my brother did when he was a kid. It's too amazing to describe how he would feel that way, but he does. He considers me his sister.
But does she consider James her brother?
I think it's probably a reincarnation of my brother.
Suzanne Stratford, Fox 8 News.
Wasn't that interesting? So, this is one story, not from India, but from the Western world. I see many saying, yes, yes, very interesting. Thank you. So, in the Western world, we saw one story. There are stories from India also. एंड पुनर्जन्म की कहानी बहुत सुनते हैं हम. भारत में तो है, शास्त्रों में है, भागवतम में है, पुराणों में है. So we'll see some of the stories from here also. See, on the Western philosophers like Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, Socrates, they all believe in reincarnation, right? Finding myself to exist in the world. Benjamin Franklin says. John Adams, he says, those souls who revolted against God were placed here to transmigrate through various species of animals, birds, and reptiles. Yesterday, somebody had asked the question, why did we come here? Why did Lord God create the system of birth and death? Yes, He created the system because we wanted to go against God, revolt against God. So here he is using the word revolt, and Bhagavad Gita uses the word dvesha. We envied God, we did dvesha against God. Then God puts us in this place. For example, in the country, if somebody does a crime, right? If somebody does a crime, he's put into jail. What is the purpose of the jail? Reformation. And once a person gets reformed, then he is released from the jail. Similarly, this whole world which we see around us, that is the material world, which is compared to a jail. And the other world, spiritual world, is compared to the country. So when person disobeys the gods in the country, in the spiritual world, is put into this material world. So tomorrow we'll be discussing more about what is that spiritual world and what is this material world, how to go from here to there. So that we'll be discussing tomorrow. But the root cause of our coming to this material world, into this body, is disobedience to God, avidya, ignorance of God. So that's the root cause. And all other details, all other sinful activities, they are just details. The root cause is, the original sin is disobedience to God. And all the other sins are details. Okay. So John Adams also agrees to this point. Socrates says, I'm confident that there truly is such a thing as living again. And the living spring from the dead. Okay. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Jatasya hi dhruva mrityu, dhruvam janma mritasya cha, tasmada pariharyarte na tvam sochitum arhasi. So what Krishna is telling Bhagavad Gita, the same thing Socrates is also telling. The living die and the dead again live. So the story from India. This is the story of Shukla Gupta. She remembered her past life. So this lady, this girl, she was a lady in the past life. This lady had got some fever and she died because of the disease. And she was born again as Shukla. When Shukla was 5 years old, less than 5 years old, she started telling her parents, मेरा नाम शुक्ला नहीं है, मेरा नाम मीना है. Parents are shocked. We have given you the name Shukla. How can you say your name is not Shukla but Meena? नहीं, मेरा नाम मीना है and मेरा गांव भटपरा है, भटपरा. There's a village called Bhatpara in eastern part of India. So parents are shocked. You never stepped out of this village. How do you know these places? Then the parents asked their friends and found out whether such a village exists. And the friend said, yes, there is a village like this. So the parents took a bus. And the parents followed. You see here? So she is showing the way. and all the relatives are falling, and she enters into the home. Actually, when she came to the home, she found that the front door was sealed, and they had opened the door from the other side. So she went from the other side, and when she went inside, she could recognize people. So there's mother-in-law, father-in-law, and her husband of the past life. When she saw the husband, she put the sari on her head. She became a little shy, respectful, and she also saw her daughter. See, her Shukla is just 5 years old, but her daughter is now more than 15 years old. But when she saw the daughter, the Shukla got motherly feelings. There were tears in her eyes, with a lot of affection in her. So then, and she recognized everybody by their name. She told, these are your names. And then everybody was surprised. How does she know? First time she's coming here, but she knows so many details. And finally, they told, we'll do a very difficult test. She told Shukla, can you identify your favorite sari? She said yes. So she went upstairs, and there was a locker. She opened the locker, and there she chose one sari among a stack of saris. There was one sari. She chose it, picked it up, and said, "This is my favorite sari." And everybody got confirmation. She. Shukla is our daughter-in-law in the past life. So there's a real story which happened in the past. So I have a document. I can share it with all of you in the group, where few more cases of reincarnation are documented. Okay, and there is also a reincarnation research institute in India, in Bangalore. I recently found out this. A reincarnation research institute. You can Google it, you'll find it. It is somewhere near Lal Bagh area in India, in Bangalore. So they also published many books, and some books are available online as well. This is a book published by Jaiko publication, 30 most convincing cases of reincarnation. So there are many stories in this. Children's memories of past life. Adults' memories of past life. From England, Canada, Egypt, USA, Dakota, Ireland, different places. Evidence of reincarnation revealed through regression therapy. Regression therapy means there is kind of hypnosis by which they take the person back in the time scale, 100 years, 1,000 years, 5,000 years, like that. Okay. So in one such regression therapy, a person started speaking a foreign language. Okay. He started speaking a foreign language. Now, suppose he is born in India, but he started speaking Egyptian language, which was used centuries ago. How does this person know? Because centuries ago, the soul was there in Egypt, and he had learned that language. So he started speaking. So in this way, through regression also, one can understand one's background, from where the soul has come here. Okay, so there's regression therapy. Yeah, I'll share this book with all of you. So this is not complete book. On some to purchase it, but yeah. See how the concept of reincarnation may influence your personal life, how the concept of reincarnation influences society as a whole. They're very important because when we know that we are going to live and continue living in the future, right, we should prepare for our future, isn't it? Now we are, suppose you are a student now, while being a student, you start preparing for your job, your company, your placements. Similarly, when we are living now, we should prepare for our future life, right? That is intelligence. Okay. So there was one person. He was actually a sailor. He used to travel on the boat in the ocean. Once what happened, his boat got some problem, and he hit an island, and boat became a wreck, and he was alone. So he was wondering what to do, where to go, how to save himself. And he got down on the island. He was sitting on the beach of the island, and some tribals of that land came there. And the tribals came and they saw this person. They caught him, and they lifted him and took him to their village. And this person was shocked. Are they going to kill me? Are they going to eat me? What they're going to do with me? But to his surprise, they made him take a nice bath. They gave him fresh clothes to wear, and they made him sit on a nice chair and put a kirit on his head and declared, "You are the king. You are our king." So, and that person is surprised. Harry, you're making me the king? And the local tribals, they said, yes. The rule here is any newcomer comes here, he becomes the king for 1 year. Then after that, what? After that, you will be put in another island. What is that island? Oh, you see there nearby that island. Acha, what is special there? Oh, speciality. There is no water there. There is no food there. Wild animals there. And anybody who goes there will die surely. Acha. So this king got tension. My God, so cruel. 1 year you make me the king and then you put me there to die. So he was in great anxiety. He was thinking what to do, what to do, what to do. Right? So do you have any solution? Anybody here has any solution? What should we suggest this person so that after 1 year he continues to live happily? Maybe I can allow you to unmute for a while. Anybody has any solution for this person, Mr. King, for 1 year? What he should do? Okay, Manish is telling give up as king. Okay, change the rule as a king. Actually, he cannot give up. He cannot run away. They will not allow him to run away. He has to rule. He has to be the king for 1 year. Okay, king has to pass amendment to change the rule. Oh, that change is not allowed. No amendments. Constitution is fixed. Okay, Abhiman is telling enjoy as a king as long as he is. Oh yeah, खाओ पियो मस्त करो. 1 साल तो enjoy करो. 1 साल के बाद तो मरने वाले हैं. Let's enjoy now. Vijay Kishan is telling life is a preparation, death is like an exam. Wow, wonderful philosophy. Life is preparation, death is exam. Very nice, wonderful. But how should he? How does this help the king? What this king should do? Change the people's mindset and convince the people. They are not going to get convinced. Aryan is coming very close to the answer. King can prepare for next year by sending food and preparing home there. Wonderful. I was looking for this answer. Aryan Ravikant has hit the nail. So what this king did, he called his soldiers and said, you go there. Okay, you carry some food with you, you go there, and you should first dig a well so that drinking water is available. After the well is ready, you should make a home for me. And then you should start cultivating the land and put some grains there so that after 1 year I have sufficient food there. And in this way, I will be comfortable there. So the king prepared for his next life even before going there. So similarly, we also have to prepare for next life before death. After death, you don't have time to think about this. When you're living now, we should think about future. Okay, so that's a lesson we learn from this story of a person in the desolate island. So that is the story of Shukla. So this is a verse from Bhagavad Gita 2.22. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tatha sharira new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. So the body is compared to vastra, dress. So when the dress becomes old, there are holes in the dress, it is dirty, So what do? We throw it. Okay. We dispose it and get a new dress. Vasam jirna. Jirna means old. When the dress becomes old, navani granati. We throw it and take a new dress. Navani granati. Tatha, similarly, see yatha tatha. Right? So just like we give up dress and take new dress, similarly, sharirani vihaya jirnani. When the sharira becomes jirna means old. So when the body becomes old, vihaya, the soul gives it up. Anyani samyati navani dehi, and the soul takes on new body, young body. So it's a very beautiful system Krishna has made. See, the nature of the world is everything deteriorates. Nothing always remains fresh. Everything deteriorates. The body deteriorates. You purchase a mobile. The day you purchase it is very fresh, fully functional, high speed. But after 2 years, deteriorates. You have to change. Laptop after 5 years deteriorates. Everything in this, even buildings. You make a building after 50 years, deteriorates. You have to break it and make a new building. So everything in this world is temporary, only deteriorates. Similarly, body also. When you're born, it's called as birthday. And when you die, it's called as death day. Isn't it? Very interesting acronym this is. So there is birth and then there is death. Birth and death for the soul. And in between is our life, which is made of choices. Okay, this is C, choices. So birth is there and death is there. Okay, birth date we know. Okay, date of birth we generally say. We know what is the date of birth. January 1st, for example. You know what is the date of birth. But do you know what is the date of death? No, this is a surprise. We don't know when the death will come. Any moment, death can come. Like some people entered the submarine. Like recently, you might have heard in the news. They went into the submarine to find the Titanic, to watch the Titanic. And unfortunately, they died. And they are millionaires, croropatis. They went into the water, so such a depth of water, and they died. And they're not able to find where it is. And in India, we heard a very sad news of how the train met with an accident near Balasore, and hundreds of passengers died instantly. And nobody expected that they're going to die. They're traveling, somebody had a marriage engagement, somebody had some office trip, somebody were just visiting their home, somebody was on a tour. There are different reasons they were traveling, and they were very happily resting or talking. And suddenly, death came. So death can come suddenly at any moment. We don't know when it can come. So we have to prepare for death. So life is preparation. And death is exam. Right? So we have to prepare for the exam. Okay. So right now is the preparation time. By reading Bhagavad Gita, by attending these sessions, you are getting ready for this examination to face it boldly. Many people, when death comes, they become fearful. They're afraid. Oh, kya hoga mera? Kya hoga? Sab kuch chhin liya jayega. Everything will be taken away. What will happen to me? So they're fearful. But those who have this knowledge, they are never fearful. So yesterday I quoted one shloka from Bhagavad Gita, second chapter. I'll quote it again. Actually, it is the 13th shloka. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yovanam jara तथा देहांतर प्राप्ति धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति. A dhira means a person who is sober. Na muhyati, he is not bewildered. So when a self-realized person faces death, he is not bewildered, no disturbance. Right? Koi ichha nahi. Right? So a person of self-realization has no desires. He is peaceful. He peacefully quits his body. But those who are full of desires, they're very disturbed. They don't want to die. They call their son, they call the doctor, please save me, please protect me, I want to live, I want to live. Right? So I heard that one rich man in America, he did not want to die. So he paid doctors. After I die, you should bring me back to life. I'm paying you crores of millions of rupees. So with that money, you should bring me back to life. So they preserved his body after he died. And they tried to inject chemicals, they tried to replace his organs, they tried for 2, 3 years. They failed, then they buried his body. Right? So it's impossible to bring even Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson, very famous dancer. He also did not want to die. He wanted to live for a long time, 100 years. So he believed in modern science. So what he did, he told all the doctors, he had a group of doctors who were looking after him. So he told them that you should always be ready. Check my health. Surgeries he went through. And he wanted to always stay young and live long. But unfortunately, he died at the age of, I think, 48 or so. Very early he died. Even after being so successful, earning so much of money, making so many arrangements, still he died. So nobody can stop death. जो भी पैदा हुआ है उसको मरना ही है. As sure as death. So this is what it's telling. So we should not be disturbed by death, but we should know how to face death. Death is just like changing your dress. You throw the old dress and take a new dress. Similarly, the old body is thrown away and new body is accepted. So there's no reason for lamentation. In fact, it is a good system actually. When we become old, we cannot eat, we cannot see, we cannot hear, right? So somebody is asking, "Pani chahiye?" "Haan?" "Pani piyenge?" "Haan?" So they are not able to hear, right? And somebody is not able to see. Somebody is not able to chew. Angam galitam falitam mundam dashanavihinam jatum tundam vruddho yati grihitva dandam tadapunamunchati asha pindam. And Shankaracharya says, beautiful verse, that all the hairs have fallen, all the teeth have fallen, and he is holding a stick, but still he has desire to enjoy. So what Lord does? He says, the old body, how can you enjoy? I'll give you a new body. Fresh body, young body, strong body. You take that body and then you will enjoy in the next life. So God has made a system of changing the body, and depending upon our desires, He gives a new body. So there's another verse, 27th shloka from second chapter. Jatasya hi dhror mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad apariharyarthe natvam sochitum arhasi. One who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Bhagavad Gita 2.4, 2.27. Right? So anybody who has died will again take birth. So there's no need for lamentation. See here, this lady is born as is attracted to a man. So he's born as a man, Kshatriya. Then he may be born as a Vaishya. He's doing business here usually. Again, he may be born as a woman. She may be born as a devotee. That girl may again be born as a rishi. It's possible. The soul keeps transmigrating from one body to another. Right? Can a man in this life become a woman in next life? Yes, possible. Can a woman in this life become a man in next life? Yes, possible. If a woman is attracted to a man and always thinks about being a man, she wears pant shirt, she is imitating manly activities, she can become a man in next life. And a man who is attracted to women, who always try to see the body of woman and wants to enjoy a woman, always thinking of women, he may become a woman in the next life. It's possible, right? So there is story in Srimad Bhagavatam as well, right? There is story Puranjana. It comes in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Puranjana was very much attracted to his wife. And when he died, he became a girl called Vaidarbhi. Her name was Vaidarbhi. So that is possible. So Bhagavad Gita 8.6 tells us, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Whatever state of consciousness one is at the time of death, that state he will attain after death. Here this person is like looking like this. So look, he's imitating like a dog. He may become like a dog. And he's imitating like a monkey. He may become monkey. Showing anger like a tiger. He may become a tiger. So whatever one thinks of in this life and whatever thought he has at the time of death, that kind of body he will attain. So we get our next body based on what desires we have in the mind and our good and bad karma. These are the two things. Desires in the mind and our good or bad karma. Right? So suppose somebody is sleeping a lot. He wants to sleep a lot. That desire is there. So there are certain bodies meant for sleeping only. Like there is polar bear, which stays in the polar region, white color, not black color, white color bear. It sleeps for 6 months, non-stop. So if somebody has a habit of sleeping a lot, then God says, so you want to sleep? Is your desire? Okay, take the body of a polar bear, sleep for a long time. And somebody wants to eat a lot, eat anything and everything. So there is an animal which can eat anything and everything and still be healthy. That is pig. Oh, you go in pig's body, eat anything and everything. She will not never get sick. You enjoy. So in that way, he goes to that body. And then there is, if somebody has a desire to eat flesh, and human body ought to struggle a lot to eat flesh. Sometimes you cannot digest flesh. So God says, okay, you become a tiger or a lion. You can bindas eat raw flesh. And humans cannot eat raw flesh. They have to cook and then eat. You can eat directly raw flesh. So it becomes an animal, like tiger. So in this way, there is corresponding, according to the desire, there is corresponding body. Right? Anybody knows how many kinds of species God has created in this world, according to the Vedas? There is a specific number. Anybody knows what is the number? How many species of life? Okay, Divya is telling 84 lakh, correct? Yes, 84 lakh, 84 lakh, 84 laksha yoni, 84 lakh species of life are there. So according to the desires of the living entities, so many bodies are created. Oh, many are telling. Dev Malay, Yash Rajput, Raghavendra, all of you are knowing this figure. Very nice. But there is subcategory also. Jalajana Valakshani, there are 9 lakhs of aquatics. Sthavara Lakshavimshati, there are 20 lakhs species of trees. Right? Krimisha Rudra Sankhya, 11 lakh categories of insects. Krimsh Lakshani Pashavaha, 30 lakh species of animals. Dasha Lakshani Pakshinam, there are 10 lakhs varieties of birds. And then there is Chatur Lakshani Manavaha, there are 4 lakh species of humans. Right? So this is how the Vedas systematically categorize the species also. Okay, thank you very much. So based on the desires in the mind, one gets next body, and also one needs karma. Somebody may desire, I want to be the Prime Minister of the country. Desire is good, but if the karma doesn't support, good karma doesn't support, or he has insufficient karma balance, then he'll not get that. He has to wait for many, many lives to get that karma. So desire is not sufficient, one should also deserve it. Deserve means good or bad karma. What is karma? So karma, you can compare it to your bank balance. Very simple analogy. So depending upon how much you have deposited in the bank, that much you can withdraw. Okay. So if you have deposited 10 lakh rupees, you can withdraw up to 10 lakh rupees. Similarly, in your karma account, if you have deposited good karma, you can withdraw it in the form of happiness. Okay, you can get wealth, you can get happiness, you can get a beautiful body, you can get beautiful or influential parents, you can be born in best place on this planet. Like this, the karma gives returns in terms of happiness. But if somebody has done bad karma, that also gives bad results in the form of diseases, in the form of poor birth, lack of wealth. So that's how bad karma acts on us. So there is good karma and there is bad karma. So if you do bad karma, we suffer the results of bad karma. And karma is like Newton's third law of motion. And Newton's third law of motion, all of you are well versed with that. Every action has got equal and opposite reaction. So that is Newton's third law. So if you do good to others, it comes back to you. If you do bad to others, bad thing comes back to you. That is law of karma. Sometimes the reaction may come instantly, and sometimes the reaction may take some time to come. Okay, so there is instant karma and then there is delayed karma. Okay, so let's try to understand this by a video. That is a very interesting video. I will share it on the screen. This is instant karma. So he is trying to stand the horse and the horse is kicking. That's instant karma. If you do bad to others, the bad comes back to you. That is instant karma. Now let's see delayed karma. How sometimes the karma may get delayed. It may take several years to give the result.
Hey, don't move! Nana.
So that's delayed karma. So elephants have strong memory. They can remember people, places. So this baby elephant remembered this fellow, this boy had insulted me, done a prank on me. So then he remembered and took reaction. So it may take time. So whatever we do comes back to us. We cannot escape. You see another video. Laws of karma are very intricate. Sometimes very difficult to understand. But from this video, you can get an idea how whatever you do comes back to you. It all comes back to us. Whatever we do nature, it comes back to us. If we take care of the nature, nature gives us back abundant. If we exploit nature, nature withdraws. So whatever we do has got a reaction. We cannot ignore any activity. When you do good to others, it will come back to you. If you do charity to others, it comes back to you. If you give food to others, food will come back to you. जो देते हैं वो वापस आ जाता है in multiplied form. If you go to the right person, it comes back to you in multiplied form. For example, somebody gives charity of clothes. Next life, he may become the owner of a cloth mill. If somebody is giving water in charity, next time he may be born on the bank of Ganga, no shortage of water. Ganga ke pani peete raho. If somebody is giving a lot of food, then he'll become a zamindar with a lot of land and grains. So in this way, karma comes back. But if some does bad activities, does wrong to others, that wrong also comes back to us. So depending upon what we deserve and what we desire, we get the reaction. So there are 4 pillars of sinful life. So based upon what activities we do, if, for example, there are 4 pillars. One is meat eating, another is intoxication, and then gambling and illicit sex. These are the 4 pillars of sinful life. So these will give us bad reactions. For example, intoxication. When somebody is smoking, while smoking, you may feel it is very cool. But after a few years, you realize, oh, I got lung cancer. Right? So you'll get lung cancer and you will have to suffer. I have videos again for this also. There is a benefit of smoking, benefits of smoking. I have a video on benefits of smoking. Just a minute. He's smoking, he's lighting cigarette. So the lung becomes so afraid. Lung comes out of his smoke. He's so afraid. He's running away from. So the lesson is stop smoking, don't torture the lung. Right? So of course, while smoking, he may initially not feel anything bad, but eventually he will become very weak. He'll get sinful reactions and he'll get cancer. Like this, I can talk about all of them. But if one leads a very austere life of voluntary restraint, he stays away from violence, like meat products, they are product of violence, bloodshed, crying, tears of animals, full of negative energy. That food is full of negative energy. When one eats that food, naturally one gets diseases. That's in the Western world where people eat a lot of meat. They have a lot of obesity problems. They have got hypertension, high BP, and every third person in America has got heart problems. So many cardiac hospitals are there. So that and those who are eating this non-veg food, they are more prone to cancer because to grow these animals, they inject a lot of cancerous injections, oxytocin and all. It's very hazardous. So that's why, well, if one prefers a vegetarian organic food, he can live a healthy life, a long life. So it is a do the right thing, eat the right items. And if one leads a life of sacrifice, yajna, to please the Lord, he'll be more happy and satisfied. If he cultivates knowledge, like reading scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, so Srimad Bhagavatam, he's very happy. And association of saintly people, like you see here, Srimad Bhagavatam class, this American ISKCON temple, he's having Bhagavatam class. He is Niranjan Swami Maharaj, right? So he's also from America and he preaches in America. So then what happens? We go up. So this person here, if he chooses to follow Guru and follows the rules and regulations, then he's elevated and he finally meets Radha and Krishna on the top. But if this fellow gets attracted to the material allurements of lust, anger, greed, pride, and other things, Then he's dragged down. See, this fellow is being pulled by the ropes. He's going down and down and down to suffering, to hellish conditions. Right? So we have to choose. So we are here now at this junction. Do we want to go up or do we want to go down? You want to climb the stairs or come down? What do you think? What we should do? We should go up or go down? If up, you say up. If down, you say down. Okay, yes, Rajput is telling go up and up. Okay, thank you. We all should go up to Radha and Krishna, to spiritual world. Right? Tomorrow we'll discuss more about what is that spiritual world and how to go there. Yeah. So this world is not all in all. Spiritual world exists. That we'll discuss tomorrow. Okay. Today we discuss mainly about next life, the existence of next life. Okay. So this one life is not all in all. Next life also exists. Okay. So today I kept my presentation little short so that we can have time for question and answers. But before I take questions, I have one more point to say. What exactly happens after death? When a person comes to that point of death, the soul is trying to separate from the body. The soul is trying to separate from this body. So those who are attached to this body, they feel pain, they are suffering. But those who are liberated souls, they have no attachment to this body, they easily go out of this body. And when a person is dying, if he is a good person, then Yamudutas don't come. The divine beings, heavenly beings come and take him to heavenly place. But if he is a sinful person, then Yamudutas come and they take him to a hellish place for suffering. So generally those who are sinful, they get bad dreams at the time of death. They will see some dogs barking. They will see some very scary creatures coming. Right? One of our devotees was admitted in one hospital in Bombay. And next to him on the bed, there was another patient. And suddenly this patient starts screaming, help me, save me, don't take me. And this devotee got up and looked, what is happening? Then he saw that from window, there's some scary people with long hair, sharp teeth, with the rope in their hand, they're coming and they're pulling and taking the person away. Actually, he could see, but nurse could not see those people. Nurse was coming and putting the machine on the chest and trying to pump the heart and trying to inject some saline and put the ventilator, all those things to save that person. But some of these Yamadutas took the soul and went away. Okay. So only some people could see Yamadutas, but not all of us can see Yamadutas because they are very subtle. They're from another planet. So Yamadutas take the soul and they carry the abode of Yamaraj, which is a long distance, but that long distance they cover in a very short time. And Yamaraj is the judge. He takes a whole account of what this person has done in the entire life. Okay, he has done this good, and he has done this bad things. So simple activities and good activities. Accordingly, he rewards. If he is supposed to go to hell and suffer the punishment for the bad things he has done, he is sent to hell. And in hell, he is punished. And then he is again sent back to earth. And sometimes he is also sent to heaven to enjoy the good results of his actions. In heaven, he will be very peaceful, happy, enjoy the heavenly pleasures. And after the heavenly pleasures are done, again he'll come back to earth. So earth is like 0 point. From there, he can go up or he can go down. Like if we say this is x, y axis and x axis. Okay. So here is 0 point. This is earth, earthy plane. And above is heaven. Sorry, I don't have pen. I'm just writing from finger. And then below is hell. Okay. So a good person, a pious person, he can go up. Urdham gachanti sattvastha. In the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it says, Urdham gachanti. Those who are pious people, they do piety on earth. From earth, they go to heaven. And they enjoy the fruits of their results. For example, somebody has done very, very beneficial activities for the society. He is elevated to heaven. And he will stay there for the time his karma allows. After his karma is over, again he has to come back to earth. Kshine punye martya lokam vishanti tetam bhukta sarga lokam vishalam kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. 9th chapter of Gita says that he will go up. After the karma is over, come down. Kshine punya. Punya is over, then he comes down. For example, if you are working for a company and your company is very happy with you, they'll give reward. 7 days, 7 nights. You go to Switzerland, enjoy, and then come back. So then he goes to Switzerland, enjoys for 7 days, 7 nights, and after that he's not allowed to stay there. He has to come back. Right. Similarly, heaven is like Switzerland. He goes up and comes down. Hell also. See, people who do very sinful activities, they are sent to hell, and after the hellish punishment is over, then again they come back to earth. Okay. So this chakra of going up and coming down is happening. Okay. They go up and come down. So this is all in one material world. Okay. This is material world only. But spiritual world is beyond this. Outside of this material world. Heaven, earth, and hell, they're all in this material world. But spiritual world is beyond this. That's Vaikuntha. Even in heaven, there is death. Even in heaven, there is anxiety. Because sometimes you hear of Indra becoming anxious because Hiranyakashipu is attacking him. Or Ravan is attacking him. He becomes anxious. So even in hell, there is suffering. There is anxiety. But in Vaikuntha, there is no more anxiety. There is only happiness, happiness, and happiness. Kunta means, this is called Kunta. Kunta means anxiety. And there is Vaikuntha. So Vaikuntha means no anxiety. Vai means no. Kunta means anxiety. So Vaikuntha. So we have to go from Kunta to Vaikuntha. So the soul has to travel from material world to spiritual world. What is the journey? What is the process of journey? So that we'll discuss tomorrow. Okay. So now we can open up for questions. Yes. Yashwantru? Okay.
Hare Krishna. So first I will take questions from yesterday.
Yeah.
There are 2 questions pending, Guruji. So first question is from Ajay. So he's asking, sir, do past karma have effect on this birth?
Yeah, I think that question is answered. Based on our past karma, we have got this birth. That has affected our birth. And our current karmas will affect our future births. Right? Your performance will determine your result. If performance is poor, the result will be poor. If performance is good, result will be good. Similarly, if karma is good, then our next birth will be better.
Okay. Abhiman is asking that, Guruji, how to know what is our ultimate duty?
Yeah. So there are 2 kinds of duties we have. One is so there is one which is, I'll take another color, conditional duty. And there is another one, second one, that is constitutional duty. Okay, what is conditional duty? Conditional duty is, okay, now I am a student. I have to study. And I am an employee. I have to work. I have to do a job. That is conditional duty. Or I am a father now. I have to take care of children. Or I am a mother or a son. So according to the role you are currently placed in this body, you have certain duties to do. Or you are a police, you are a president or a prime minister. So based on your conditions, you have got certain duties to do. So that's called conditional duty. So this is not ultimate duty. This is relative. Everybody has got different conditional duties. But what is constitutional duty? the duty of the soul. What is the constitutional position? Our constitutional position is we are part and parcel of God. We belong to God. So to serve God is our constitutional duty, the ultimate duty. Savai pumsam paro dharmam, right? Bhagavatam says, or paro dharma. Dharma means duty. Paro dharma means ultimate duty. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaje. Serving adhokshaja. Adhoksha is the name of Krishna. To serve God, to serve Krishna is paro dharma, ultimate duty. And by doing this, yayatma suprasidati, the heart becomes completely satisfied. So this is ultimate duty, to serve God, to love God and to serve God. That is the ultimate duty of soul. So as a right now we have both the duties, conditional duty and constitutional duty. So while doing your conditional duty, try to cultivate your constitutional duty. So you're a student, study, but give some time to serve God. You can volunteer for some service to serve God. You can distribute Bhagavad Gitas. You can chant the holy names. You can organize programs to glorify God. So in this way, you can, while being a student, you can do your constitutional duty. If you are a housewife, you can still do your constitutional duty. If you are a working job, okay, do your job, but morning and evening do some service to God, or in weekends do some service to God. So you should do both. But eventually, when the conditional duties are over, once you retire, then you can engage full time in constitutional duties. You get more time to do your constitutional duties. Okay. Yes. Next question.
Next question. Sagar is asking, why we are unconscious of first life in other life? Please tell me.
Why we are unconscious of first life or previous lives?
Yeah, previous life in other life.
I told that our nature is to forget.
Yeah.
We forget because that's our nature. Mortal body has very poor memory. So you forget what we ate yesterday, what we ate 1 week back, or what we did 1 year back. And what about 5 years, when you're 5 years or 2 years old? We don't remember the details. Similarly, we don't remember what happened in the previous life. But very few people, like today, I showed the video of pilot. I narrated the story of Shukla. So some people remember. And those people who had very painful death, or at the time of death, the emotions are very intense, such people generally remember. And the remembrance is very strong up to the age of 5. And after they cross the age of 5, as they start growing, the memory fades away. In case of this pilot also, till the age of 5, the dreams were very intense. And after that, they started reducing. Okay. So in the early age, some people will remember, but later they forget. Sometimes when newborn babies, they start crying. Without reason, they start crying. They're neither hungry nor any insect is biting, but still they're crying. Why? Because they may be remembering something from the past life. But as the age progresses, they forget. Right? So, and it's a blessing of Krishna that he makes us forget. Imagine if you remembered what happened in your previous 100 lives. How I died, what I did, who hated me, who loved me. So life will be so complex. So Krishna makes us forget it and makes us start a fresh life, fresh memory. Right? So that's Krishna's blessing on us. Okay.
So Nataraj is asking, sir, what's the meaning of moksha that we say after death of a person?
Yeah. Moksha or mukti. Mukti means freedom from something. And here specifically it means freedom from suffering, and what is the cause of suffering? This body. Right? Because we are in this body, there are so many conditions put on us. Right? We have to take bath, we have to eat, we have to sleep, we cannot work 24 hours, we have to take rest, we have to take breaks. There are diseases in this body, we have to go to doctor. So many problems. So mukti means freedom from this body and being a pure spirit soul. Right? Aham Brahmasmi, understanding that I am pure spirit soul, part and parcel of God, and engaging in Lord's service. So one basic definition of mukti is freedom from all sufferings, freedom from these bodily sufferings. And second definition, higher definition is engaging in Lord service. We become free from sufferings and then engage in Lord service. So these are the two definitions of mukti or moksha. Mukti hitva anyata rupam swarupena vyavastiti. Srimad second canto defines mukti. Anyata rupam hitva swarupena vyavastiti. Giving up all temporary forms of material bodies made of 84 lakh species. Hitva, giving up. Swarupena vyavastiti. We have original form as spirit soul. Soul also has got a form and it has some particular service to Krishna. And being situated in that form is mukti. That's the highest definition of mukti. Okay.
Suraj Gupta is asking, Guruji, but isn't it true that the celebrities and various rich people are making use of their money to make their life longer?
Yeah, they are trying to use their money to make their life longer. Nobody wants to die. But still, death will come. Even if she is Crorepati, she may be Miss Universe, she'll become old, she'll die. Even if there's a billionaire Hollywood actor, he will also die one day. So, death doesn't spare anybody. Kalosmi Lokakshakrat Pravruddho, 11th chapter Gita says, I'm Kala. I come and knock at the door of everybody. किसी का घर नहीं छोड़ेंगे, सबके घर में आएंगे, मृत्यु के रूप में आएंगे, right? सबके पास आएंगे. But devotee has no fear because he knows death means progression to Krishna, going closer to God. But for people who do not know the spiritual knowledge, they become disturbed. Yeah. Okay. Next.
Next, Suraj Gupta and Manishji both ask the same question. Can we become animals as well in the next life?
Yes, it's possible. If somebody is developing animalistic tendencies, he can become an animal. Okay, I'll show you a talk question game. So let's see a video. So there's a dog. Funny video. After seeing the video, you can just try to imagine what this dog must have been in the past life.
1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and last number is 10. You're a good boy. Give me answer. Pick. 1 plus 1. 3 plus 2. 5 plus 1. 7 plus 1. Now, give me answer. 5 minus 2. 5 minus 1. 5 minus 4. 6 minus 3. 7 minus 4. 8 minus 4. 10 minus 3. Very good. Good.
How does dog know mathematics? Means in the past life, he must have studied the mathematics, and in this life, it is in dog's life also he had memory of that, and he could learn mathematics. It's difficult to learn. Animals can't learn this. Okay, and in Bhagavatam also there is a story of how there's a king called Bharat Maharaj. He went to the forest to do tapasya. In forest, he became attached to a deer, a baby deer, and while thinking of the deer, he died. And next life, he became a deer, Hiran. He became a deer. So that's possible. One can become animal, and again one can become a human also. Right? He can become a bird also, he can become a devata also. Right? It's possible. Based on karma, you can get next body. Next.
Next question is from Tani Singh. Guruji, say something about brahmacharya. Enlighten us, please. I
Yeah.
see temples, Shivlinga, Ayyappa Swami, devotees in dreams. What should I do?
Okay, Honey Singh is asking this. Yeah. Very nice to see dreams of gods. That's very auspicious. So it means God is calling, serve me, engage in my service. So that's a good sign. So instead of getting dreams of other things, if you're getting dreams of God, that's wonderful. And another thing you asked about brahmacharya. So brahmacharya means brahme charati iti brahmacharya, whose consciousness is always fixed in supreme. Those who are trying to fix their consciousness supreme, that is brahmacharya. Brahman means supreme God. Those who try to fix their mind on Brahman and not on the topics of this world, they are brahmacharis. So brahmacharya also means abstaining from sensual pleasures of this world and engaging all one's energy in service of the Lord, right? So generally our energy gets diverted in materialistic activities like eating, or sleeping, sex life, and working life, like that. So what brahmacharis do, instead of engaging their energy in this time, they conserve that energy to study the scriptures, to meditate on God, and elevate that energy to the high for better purpose of the society, for spreading the message of peace and love in the society. So that is brahmacharis. The brahmacharis also, they abstain from sex life, and they conserve their potency and transform it into spiritual energy, by which they get good mental strength, good intelligence, discrimination, memory power, and then they utilize all this energy for the benefit of the society. So that is brahmacharya. And every boy should be trained in brahmacharya compulsorily. So that was the system in the old age. Every boy was trained to be a brahmachari at least till the age of 25. So he knows how to control his senses and study the shastras. And after that training is done, then he can get married. And then in the family life as well, he can control the senses, not indiscriminately engage the senses in sense enjoyment. So that is brahmachari life. So he's called as grahastha brahmachari. In family life also, he follows the principles, the training which he got in the past life. Otherwise, what happens, the boys become like dogs. They have sex indiscriminately. Right? Even the modern time, people have these habits of masturbation. Boys and girls, they watch bad movies, they get bad dreams, and they also have waste semen, which is very, very detrimental for physical health as well as mental health and spiritual health. But if one stays away from these habits, then what will happen? He can conserve his energy and use that energy positively for spiritual elevation. Okay, so that training was compulsorily given to everybody till the age of 25 in the past in the Gurukul system, and after that he can get married, and then till the age of 50 he stays in married life, and after 50 he gets retired. That's called vanaprastha life. And after the age of 75, he completely retires from all responsibilities and completely engages in service of the Lord. So that was the system. So brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa. So, but there are some exceptional sages like Madhvacharya or Shankaracharya, so Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, who directly took sannyas at the age of 10 or 12 and remained brahmacharis throughout their life. So they're called as Naishtiki Brahmacharis. Naishtiki Brahmachari means throughout the life they remain celibate. That is Naishtiki Brahmachari. And there is Upakurvana Brahmachari, who after getting trained as a Brahmachari, he gets married and then he enters into Grahastha Ashram and continues to follow the principles in the family life. And he has sex only to produce children. So that is called Upakurvana Brahmachari. Then after that he retires and then completely engages in the service of the Lord. So this is the basic principle of brahmachari life. So boys were taught brahmacharya and women were taught the principles of chastity. remaining loyal and chaste wife, Sati. In the tradition, it's called Sati. So, like Sita Devi is a Sati, right? Parvati is a Sati. So from Anasuya, Draupadi, so one can learn very nice lessons from them how to remain in Sati or Pativrata. So this kind of training was given in the past, but unfortunately, in the modern context, this training of brahmacharya is not given in any schools. They're supposed to give, but they're not giving. In fact, they're encouraging a mixing of boys and girls. So by that, what is happening? The premature pregnancies, then live-in relationships, such kind of culture is coming, which is very detrimental. So one has to maintain purity till marriage, and after marriage, the household life also will be good. But if one spoils one's purity before marriage, then the married life also will be very difficult. So that's why this brahmacharya training is very important. Okay.
Okay. Next question is from Manoj. Sir, in your perspective, what are the good karmas? When I do to get success my life?
Yeah. So good karmas, like for example, one guy has good intelligence, good strong memory. That is a result of good karma which are done in the past. Somebody is born in a very rich family. By birth, he is traveling in Benz car, he is living in palatial building. So that is the result of good karma which you have done in the past, right? Somebody is very beautiful, very attractive physical form he has. That is also a result of good karma. Somebody is very famous, becoming very famous, means that the result of his past good karma. So that's how one can understand that he has done some good in the past. That's why he is enjoying this karma. Okay. So good karmas are like doing yajnas, pujas, doing dana, giving charity of food, charity of clothes, charity of water, or constructing home for others, digging wells so that other people can have water, making roads, making dams. These are all good activities. By doing such good activities, one gets good karma. But better than good karma is spiritual activities, like chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. It is spiritual activity. It is beyond good. Reading Bhagavad Gita, it is beyond good. It's much better, right? Or spreading the message of God to others. That's much better than doing good, right? So there is bad, there is good, and there is spiritual. Okay. Papa, Punya, and Bhakti. So there are three things. Papa, Punya, and Bhakti. Okay. Punya and Bhakti. Okay. Papa means sinful, bad karmas, and Punya means good karmas. And Bhakti is spiritual activities. Spiritual activities are called as Bhakti. Okay. So Bhakti is the highest thing which we are supposed to do. We should not do Papa. We can do good karmas and we can do Bhakti karmas. Okay. Yeah. Next question.
Thank you, Coach. Next question is from Divya. Sir, are soulmates true? Do they exist based on Shastra?
Yeah. So soulmates are there. It is said that matches are made in heaven based on previous karmas. Who your spouse will be, what kind of psychology they should have. It is generally arranged. Some marriages are arranged. Some marriages you may select, but some marriages are arranged. And by the will of providence, they come in your life. Right? So we should accept it as the will of the Lord, and that will be good for you. Okay. So for how this happens, you have to pray. You have to pray to God. So kindly give me a suitable husband or wife. In the past, they used to go and worship Lord Shiva, Lord Bhavani to get a good wife or good husband. So by prayers, God will send you the right match. Instead of we choosing, let God send us the right match. So that is it. But that is only for this life. next life it may change. ऐसा नहीं कि 7 जन्म तक हम साथ में रहेंगे, ऐसा नहीं होता. Right? It keeps changing. Right? Somebody may be in one family now, but he may go to another family in the next life. Right? He may born in another family, another country. It's possible based on the karma he does. He keeps traveling to different families in different places. Okay. Yes. Next slide. Next question.
Rakesh is asking, Guruji, you said incarnation means leaving this body and coming to new body, right? Even gods will be reincarnated into life forms, but they will not leave their body. Being in that body, they will also be in one more body. Can you explain this?
Yeah. So, actually, there is difference between God coming and we coming. When we come, we call it as reincarnation, right? But when God comes, we call it as avatara. Okay. So in general, we use God incarnates, God appears, but actually the traditional term is avatar. Avatara means descends. He descends to this world. Okay, he doesn't incarnate in this world, he descends to this world. Lord is already there, he comes. For example, Prime Minister Modi ji, he is there. But when he descends to Bangalore, we say, okay, when he comes to Bangalore, we say he has come. Right? And then he goes. Similarly, God is always there in his world, in his spiritual world. Sometimes he comes and sometimes he disappears. Appears and disappears. That's called avatar. When he comes, you call it as avatar. So God, when he comes to this world, he doesn't come in a body made of flesh. He comes in his self-same spiritual form. So God's body is spiritual. It is not material. We are spirit, but we are encased in matter. But when God comes, when Krishna comes, he is complete spirit. He is not encased in matter. He comes as he is. So that's the difference between we coming and Krishna coming. When we come to this world, we are born crying. But when Krishna comes to this world, he is born smiling. There is no pain. He does not do any pain. He happily comes and goes. He does leelas and goes. When we do activities, we call it as karma. When God does activities, we call it as leela. God cannot do any karma. He does leelas, pastimes. So that's the difference between us and God. Okay. Next question.
There is one comment, Proji. Rakesh is telling in the quiz, yesterday's survey, even second session questions were there. We didn't knew what to answer, so we answered something random. So can read questions again?
Yeah, you can look into that.
Okay.
Next question.
Divya is asking, do some people remember past life details? Should they forget those details?
I think we already answered that question.
Yeah. Vaishnavi is asking, sir, there is only 7 lives for human beings?
No, there are more also. There are millions of lives also. So there's no specific number that, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, after that you attain mukti. No. So you'll continue living in this world till the time you become perfect and purified. When you develop love for God and you become purified from all karmas, then you can go back to the spiritual world and attain mukti. So this concept of 7 lives is not there. Next.
Nataraj is asking, is there any way to quit the infinite loop of birth and death?
Yeah, the bhakti. As I told you, there is a path of bhakti. When you do spiritual activities, by the power of spiritual activities, papa karmas are destroyed. Okay, these papa karmas are destroyed, and even slowly, all the punya karmas are also destroyed. Only spiritual karmas remain. Spiritual benefits remain. And when this stage comes, where only spiritual benefit karmas are there, papa punya are destroyed, then you go to spiritual world. So bhakti is the path of liberation, getting free from the cycle of birth and death. So Krishna talks about this in Bhagavad Gita. In the verse, I think it is Sorry. That is in 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, right? Bhaktyama abhijanati yava nishchasmi tattvatah tato mam tattvato gyatva vishate tadanantaram. He says, tato mam tattvato gyatva vishate tadanantaram. He says. So that's the verse. Bhaktyama abhijanati. Only by bhakti you can understand me. And then you enter aboard. Yeah, I'll show you that verse. This is 18.55. 18.55. This is the process which Krishna is recommending. Yeah, you're able to see. Bhaktyama vijanati yava nishchashmita tatah tato mam tato gyatva vishate tadanantaram. He said, one can understand me as I am, as a supreme personality of God, only by devotional service, by bhakti. And when one is in full consciousness of me, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. There is mukti. So practice bhakti. How to practice bhakti? So I can share about it tomorrow. The simple formula, chanting the names of God. In Kali Yuga, bhakti can be performed easily by chanting the names of God. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That's bhakti. Reading Bhagavad Gita is bhakti. Okay, visiting temple, offering flowers and fruits to Krishna, offering arati, that is bhakti. Right? Bhakti can be practiced in temple, in home, in your room. It can be practiced anytime, any place. That's the way to quit the loop. Okay. Next.
Next, Aditi Gowda is asking, Prabhuji, actually first I was eating non-veg, but when I started to worship Radha Krishna, I don't like to eat non-veg, but my parents are making me to eat non-veg forcefully. I don't know how to handle this project. What should I do?
Yeah. So non-veg, you realize that non-veg is not good for spiritual life and product of violence. You're trying to give it up. So generally, some people may not be able to give up immediately, so they can reduce. Once in a week, one may take. Then once in a month, one may take. Once in a 6 months, once in a year, and then forget. That's how one can gradually reduce. Now you already stopped it, but family culture may be such that they may be eating. Okay, so in that case, it may be difficult to avoid. They may cook at home, but you can request parents that I like to prefer vegetarian, right? And I'm allergic to non-veg. I don't want to eat that. Right? I feel very nauseating. So I feel to eat only vegetarian. So then they may say, but how will you get protein? You need to get protein. You should eat eggs. You should eat non-veg. Then get protein. Then you say I can take supplements like there is supplements of this moong dal, vegetarian supplement for protein. Moong dal, there's paneer. In fact, the soybeans, they have a lot of protein, right? So by taking those things, you can be healthy. You can get sufficient proteins. So one can have an alternative. So generally, parents means they are concerned about your health. Actually, that's their concern. That's why they want you to eat. But when you say I'm taking sufficient supplements and you're healthy, so then they'll not have any objection. And nobody wants to push it down the throat. Right? They're mainly doing that because they love you and they want to care for you. They want to see you healthy. So, but if you take sufficient supplements, then I think they'll be happy. So you can try this technique. Yes. Okay, Devi.
Next question.
Okay, I think Aditi asked the question, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Next
Gita
question.
is asking, Prabhuji, Lord Ram in Ram Avatar chooses dharma over love. And Sri Krishna chooses love over dharma. What should we follow? Love over dharma or dharma over love?
Actually, to love is the actual dharma. There is no difference between dharma and love. But when you are saying this, dharma and love, dharma means ordinary duties, and love means actually prema, where one can even compromise on ordinary duties to love. So Krishna is Rasaraj. He is epitome of love. He exhibits love to the highest degree, which we see in Vrindavan. We will discuss more about this in the fourth session when we discuss about God. So he exhibits the highest epitome of love. That what you said is true. But when Lord Rama comes, he comes for a specific purpose to establish dharma and show an example. So that's why Krishna, Rama is called as Maryada Purushottama. Lord Vishnu is called as uh, um, Lord Vishnu is Purushottama, Rama is Maryada Purushottama, Lord Krishna is Purna Purushottama. Right, like that he is called. So Krishna's actions cannot be imitated, but Lord Ram's actions can be imitated. So in our practical dealings, we should follow Lord Ram. We can take inspiration from Lord Krishna, but to follow, we should follow the footsteps of Lord Rama. We should be obedient to our parents. We should protect our wife if she is in danger. We should keep our words. So we should follow Lord Rama while dealing with practical scenarios in our lives. So better to follow dharma because love is very high right now for us to understand. Okay, by following dharma, you can also understand gradually what is love. Then you can come to the platform of love. So Krishna, you take inspiration, but you follow Lord Rama. Okay. Next.
Next question is from Lokesh. Is death scripted by God at the time of birth?
Yeah. That is true. It is said that number of breaths we take in this life, it's fixed. So in one sense, the death time is also fixed, but we don't know. God knows. Based on our karma, God knows when we are going to die. So just like a medicine box has got a manufacturing date and an expiry date, similarly, this body has also got manufacturing date, which is birth date and got an expiry date. But we don't know that. So that's why death is a surprise for us. Okay. But there is one thing that if you perform bhakti in this life, if you become a devotee of Krishna, even the death can also change. It can vary because if your current spiritual activities affect your death also, so it can get postponed. Or karmas may change. If some suffering is going to come, suffering will change or it get reduced. That's possible. When you take to bhakti, your papa punya karmas they change. They get modified by the power of bhakti. So that's the advantage of practicing bhakti. Chanting Hare Krishna, reading Bhagavad Gita modifies your papa karmas and even your punya karmas and reduces the suffering which is going to come in the future. Okay. Next.
Suraj Gupta is asking, Prabhuji, I used to eat non-veg, but I stopped it after knowing that God does not like it. I want to create an impact people around me, but they are not listening to me. So please tell me how can I create impact so that I can save the animals.
Oh, very wonderful desire you have got. We are all here to create an impact in the society. This Gita course is to create an impact in the society, to impress upon people that Bhagavad Gita is the solution to all the problems of this life, of this world. So if everybody follows this principle of Bhagavad Gita, then what will be a happy place? So as far as eating non-veg food is concerned, yeah, people are eating right now because of habit, because of propaganda. I see so many propaganda about eating non-veg, Sunday, hoya, Monday, rose, khao, ande. So like they propagated, brainwash people to eat. Although it is not good, they eat. You know how the chicken are fed and reared in the factories? Very horrible, pathetic conditions. They are fed injections, and even how the eggs are produced. They're given injections, and every day one egg is taken out from them. They're so weak, so poor, so pathetic, so diseased sometimes. And such kind of food people are eating. So it is very, very bad for health. So it is good to be vegetarian. So you have to create awareness. So there are certain videos. There are certain vegan groups who are making good videos. There are some PETA, prevent protection and ethical treatment against animals, right? So the PETA society, they're also making nice content. We can take those content also and then propagate. And I also have some videos. I think I'll share it with Yashwant. He can put it in the group so you can see. I have one video where if you stop eating for one day, what impact it has on society. If we stop eating non-veg for 2 days, what impact it has on society? 1 week, what impact it has? So actually, world will become a better place. A lot of carbon emissions are happening because of non-veg food. Because to create 1 kg of flesh, it requires maybe 20 or 30 kgs of grains to make 1 kg of flesh. And so much of agricultural land is getting wasted to feed the cattle or the livestock, right? And then that is eaten by man. So if somebody eats directly grains, then it can save a lot of uh, land also, and it can deforestation can be saved. A lot of African forests are getting cut because they want to produce grains to feed the livestock in the American countries. So much of deforestation is happening. So much of land is getting wasted. So all this can stop if everybody becomes a vegetarian, right? So you can join our team. So you can join Yashwant and our team. We have a team of devotees who think like you, and you can be part of this, and you can become a volunteer to propagate this message. You are all welcome. Yes, thank you.
Next question is from Ishita. Prabhuji, God has not done any bad karma, then why does he undergo so many problems when he descends to this material?
Actually, as I told you, God doesn't do any karma. He does only lila. It appears that God is going through problems, but it is actually his lila. For example, Lord Rama, it appears that he was cursed, or means he was sent to the forest, and it is injustice. He had to suffer so much. He had to stay in the forest for so long. He had to kill the demons, and he had to. And his wife was kidnapped. So much of suffering, but actually, from Lord's point of view, it was not suffering. He went to spend personal time with Sita Devi, right? In palace, so many people were there, but here, there, Sita and Rama personally there. And then kidnapping of Sita is also another Leela. Because if Lord Ram had stayed in the Ayodhya only, then who will kill Ravana? So Lord Ram himself wanted to go to the forest, and he arranged Kaikeyi in such a way that he can go to the forest, and then he can be in the forest for 14 years. Then he killed Ravana. Then he returned back. So from our perspective, when you see, it may appear that Lord Ram is undergoing suffering, but actually Lord Ram is Atma Rama. He is completely satisfied. No suffering can touch him. He can never be morose. But he acts in such a way to invoke that emotion in us, to teach us a lesson. That, okay, when wife is kidnapped, you should feel morose, and you should try to do anything to protect her. Right? To teach such kind of lessons, Lord Ram himself goes through the sufferings and shows us the emotions by which he can churn our heart and then teach us a lesson. Right? So it is a misunderstanding that Lord undergoes suffering. Lord is always Atmaram. No suffering can touch him. Yeah, the next question.
In chat, all the questions are completed, Prabhuji.
Completed. Wonderful.
One, Vinay is raising hand. I don't know whether he has question. Or
yes, Vinay, you have a question?
He can unmute if he wants.
Yes. Okay. Vinay has. Okay, if anybody else has a question, you can unmute and ask. I'm so happy that so many of you have wonderful questions. Such a long time.
Vinay is asking, Prabhuji, which time I can puja for Krishna? What time?
Yeah, generally there are 3 timings for puja: early morning, afternoon, and evening. Sandhya Kala. Morning Sandhya, Brahma Murta, between like 4:30 to 6:30, that Brahma Murta. That time is good for puja. And then afternoon time is Sandhya, between 12 to 1, that is good for puja. Then evening Sandhya, like between 5 to 7, that's Sandhya Kala. So that is also good time for puja. So that's the time one should be awake, one should not sleep, one should not waste one's time. Either one should be chanting or doing puja or reading some spiritual books. So that's why 3 sandhyas are recommended for puja. Okay.
One more question Omkar is asking. The same question yesterday also it is there, but how to meditate?
I want to know how to meditate. Like when I try to meditate, my mind diverts. Can't concentrate on one thing. How should we meditate? Yeah. So this very important question. So meditation is a practice. Just like you exercise and grow your muscles, and every day muscle becomes strong. So meditation also becomes strong when you practice every day. Right. So meditation means what? Fixing the mind on one particular object. That's for meditation. And when you fix your mind on God, that is the ultimate meditation. Because God is a sum total of all items. Everything is there in Him. He is the source of everything. So fixing the mind on God is meditation. Generally, Patanjali Yoga recommends meditation on Paramatma. 400 Vishnu Murti in the heart. Dhyana avastita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yoginaha. So meditation on the Paramatma in the heart is also recommended. But in Kali Yuga, the easiest way of meditation is mantra, chanting of mantra. There are various mantras given in Vedas. And especially for Kali Yuga, this Hare Krishna mantra is recommended. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So repeat the mantra and hear the mantra. So when you hear the mantra purifies us. So when you're meditating, you should focus the mind on mantra, sound vibration. Hare Krishna, hear the sound vibration. In case the mind goes here and there, no need to worry, bring it back. Bring it back and focus on the sound. So this is a practice we are supposed to do. And by doing this practice, more we bring back the mind, more strong it will become. Okay. So this is the practice. You keep doing it, then you'll see it'll become more strong and in the mind. Your concentration will improve. Okay.
One more last question. Guruji. Why did Ram took Agni Pariksha for Sita if he was knowing everything?
Yeah. So I think we can take this question tomorrow. Okay.
Yes.
That's little elaboration. I'll surely answer this question. There are two answers to this question. I'll take this tomorrow. Reason being, I have another session at 8 o'clock. So I'll get late for that. So we'll surely take this tomorrow, Srinivas. Okay. So thank you so much for being here with us. So meet you again tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So thank you all of you for joining our session 2. So we'll end the meeting in just 1 minute. You can all leave. Thank you. Thank you so much.